Okay, guys. So we're looking at page 224 in your Think Up book. This talks about line plots and data. It says, collect and interpret data. You can ask questions to collect data. Some survey questions are answered with numbers. Remember that is called numerical data. For example, you have, how much time do you spend each month in front of your screen? That's going to give you a number to help collect your data. Also, how many days were you absent from school last year? Again, the data that's going to be collected is going to be in numbers, okay? Other survey questions have answers that can be grouped into categories. Remember that is called categorical data. There are a limited number of answers for categorical data. For example, what color is your car? There are only so many colors that you can choose that are going to generate not numbers whenever you are looking at your data. Did you vote in the last election? More than likely your answer is going to be yes or no. It's not going to generate any type of number. Okay, let's look at frequency tables. Okay, frequency tables, bar graphs, and line plots. Those are the three things that we're really going to focus on in 4th grade. Frequency tables, bar graphs, and line plots can be used to organize data. Okay, these representations present data in a visual format. Okay, this is a visual format. This is a visual format. This is a visual format. Okay, and make patterns in data easier to understand. The following data is displayed on a bar graph. You should be familiar with bar graphs, as I had assumed that you have done them in the past. Most bar graphs that are done in the lower grades, I can think of a specific activity where you get a small bag of M&Ms or Skittles and you sort them based on color, and your teacher may have asked you to do a bar graph of how many you had, and your colors would go on this line, and your amounts would go up here, and then you would shade in your amount. That would be a pretty simple kind of bar graph. If we observe this bar graph right here, it says time spent watching a screen each month. Okay, so you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 different students. So down here on this line, it labels it. This is your students, and over here it says numbers of hours. So we have Cecilia, Oakley, JJ, and Quinn. Well, let's look at Cecilia first. It looks like we've got our number of hours going up by increments of 5 or intervals of 5, okay? So when you go up, it looks like Cecilia has spent 40 hours in a particular month watching TV. Okay, looking at Oakley, spent about 15 hours. Okay, and JJ, let's see, 25 hours, and Quinn is going to be at 20 hours. Okay, so clearly this visual shows you that Cecilia has watched the most TV for that month, and Oakley has watched the least amount. Let's look at our questions down here. It says, will the question yield categorical data? Yes or no? Well, this is the data represented. Okay, is there numbers on the chart? Yes, there are. Okay, so is it categorical data? Yes or no? I'm going to say no. Okay. Number 1 says, how tall is each player on the basketball team? Okay, so we are looking we are going to think of these scenarios if they will yield categorical or numerical data. Okay, how tall is each player on the basketball team? Well, if you think about that, is that going to give you numbers when you collect your data? More than likely, yes. It will be a numerical. What says, is it going to yield categorical data? I'm going to say no, because it's really going to give you numerical data because you're looking at the numbers, okay, how tall someone is. Okay, looking at number 2, what is your favorite basketball team? Well, think about the answers to that. Our favorite basketball team. Well, personally, my favorite basketball team when we're talking about college sports would be the Carolina Tar Heels or UNC. Is that going to give me some type of number data, or am I going to look at categorical data? That's going to be categorical data, so you're going to write yes right there. Okay, I'm going to draw this no because I was actually answering the question in particular to that graph. Number 1 and 2 are just in general, are they looking at categorical data, okay? Alright, now we're going to look at making line plots. Line plots should be fairly new to you as they are normally introduced in 4th grade. It says a frequency table shows data organized by a category and the number in each category. This frequency table shows data for the distance students jumped in a forward jump contest. Okay, so frequency is how many times something occurs in a certain amount of time. Okay, so let's look what we've got here. We've got these forward jumps that these people are doing. We've got distances. Distance is how far they're going in feet. So 2 students jumped 3 3/4 feet in their forward jump. Okay, we've got 4 feet, 4 1/4 foot, 4 1/2 foot, and 4 3/4 foot in distance. And frequency is how many times that occurred. Okay, so 2 students were able to do 3 3/4 foot. You got 3 students in 4 foot. Okay, so if you're just looking at the frequency chart right here, you can tell me that 4 1/4 was the most frequent distance jumped. Okay, that definitely was the most distance. 4 3/4 was actually the least distance jumped, or the least frequent distance jumped, probably because this was the hardest. It was the furthest away, so only 1 student was able to do that. Okay, it says the same data can be displayed on a line plot. Okay, so looking at a line plot below, they took the information from the frequency table and they put that in a line plot. It says draw a number line that includes the numerical value for distance. Okay, so if you look down here, let me position everything. Okay, so they have done this. This is the first part. This is giving you directions to take this frequency table and turn it into a line plot. Okay, so here is a number line right here. That's the first thing they did. They drew the number line and it included the numerical values for distance. That's where they took the 3 3/4, 3 1/2, 4, 4 4/4, 4 1/2. So you all should know how to make a basic number line just like this one. Okay, and that's what they did, is they made that number line. It's the first thing they did, but they had to make sure that these numerical numbers stayed in order. Okay, and then the next thing says draw an X above each number to represent the number of jumps for that value. For example, we talked about 4 1/4. It had the most. Okay, so 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x. It happened 4 times. Okay, so you would take 3 3/4. You would make sure there was an X, 2 X's there, because that shows that amount. When you create it, I also recommend you X off what you have done here whenever you move it down here. That way you don't get confused. Okay, so that's just basically teaching you how to create it. It says the number of X's represents the number of students who participated. So from that information, you can count the X's, and that should tell you how many students were able to participate total. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 students participated total. I know it doesn't ask you that, but that's also good information to make sure you understand. It says try it. Use the line plot to answer the question. Okay. Oh, look, we've already answered that question. It says, how many students participated in the jumping contest? Well, we just discussed that if one X represents 1 student, you would count how many X's we have total to find the total number of students. So 2 students jumped 3 3/4, so that's 1 student, 2 student, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the answer is 13 students.